So we are ahead of schedule crazy and ready for some Q&A, which is awesome. I'm going to kick it off. Be careful, no running over people, be nice.
Yeah.
I'm going to kick it off with somebody from the inner tubes who wanted to know something, and just while you guys get yourself sorted. How do you say this guy's name? Kingness085, again from our forum, said, will Combat Evolved have its original Easter eggs as well as more?
That is a good question. Actually, some of the Easter eggs, I'm not going to specifically mention them because they're supposed to be surprises. Some of them are there, we've just updated them. One or two of them were mentions of girlfriends who are no longer girlfriends of programmers, so I might adjust those as well. That came up, that was pretty funny. I went and asked one of the guys if he was still in love with her.
All right, now it looks like you guys have yourself sorted. Hit us.
You guys mentioned that you guys wanted to become more interconnected with a lot of your stories. So what is the chances that we might see the survivors of the Spirit of Fire reuniting with the Master Chief and or Dr. Halsey?
That's definitely, I would just say that's not happening in Karen's novel, and it's not happening in any of the immediate stuff, but it is something we personally like to resolve in the future, but it's not currently on the menu of things that we're working on right now, but it is obviously a cool opportunity.
Moderator left. Wait, you come back, you.
Lude.
Come back. You come back. All right. You are next. Come on up here.
Hi. I always kind of wondered how much the original creation of the Halo universe was based on the novels of Ian M. Banks, because there's a lot of surface similarities, like the names 343 Guilty Spark has a similar name to some of the characters in Banks, and the elites kind of look like Adirans and have a similar society, and the Halos themselves are kind of like the places where the culture of people live.
The Massac Orbital, for example.
Yeah, so
I'm not familiar with this Ian Banks fellow. I don't know who you mean. No, I actually came on during Halo 2, so as you can imagine, a lot of that stuff precedes my Ian Banks fanboyness. But there's a lot of sci-fi authors that contributed influence and flavor to that universe, absolutely. I mean, the Bungie guys went to lunch with Larry Niven, and they were like, are you mad that we stole the concept of Ringworld? And he's like, no, I stole it from Dyson, so I don't know. He had no idea. Some of these are sci-fi tropes, and some of them are just sort of devices that are used commonly throughout all of sci-fi. Definitely Ian Banks was an influence on some of the guys at Bungie. He's definitely an influence on me, and so is Greg Bear, for that matter. So all the movies and sci-fi that we've absorbed and enjoyed in our careers and our lives are absolutely contributing to this. That's a pretty normal thing in the video game industry.
Come on up and grab one. Here's a question from everybody on HBO, halo.bungie.org. They all wanted to know, Ancient Evil, huh? Is this an evil we've seen before? The Halo 4 trailer says Ancient Evil. What?
Well, I can't, certainly not with this panel in place. I can't talk too much about the content of Halo 4 beyond what you saw in the trailer. Naturally, there will be an ancient evil because something's got to be defeated, right?
So ancient. Yeah. So evil.
Hit it.
Oh, sorry. Okay, this is for Tyler, I'm asking. So it's kind of a multi-level, and you have to excuse me, I don't like speaking in public. Is Halo Anniversary going to have, subtitle support when the original Combat Evolved and Halo PC didn't? And then what about the subtitling caption for Combat Dialogue and Anniversary Halo 4 and beyond? He said, the lack of it has been a major complaint of mine throughout the series. Finally, English subtitles on original Halo Waypoint content, like Midnight in the Heart of Midlothian, is that how you say it?
That's right.
Okay. He knows it, I don't. The Return, Mona Lisa, and Halo Legends when it aired. He said the deaf and hard of hearing community can't even enjoy these amazing videos. Any plans in the works for this?
You want to take the first one?
Yeah, so as far as subtitles, yes, we will have, working on subtitles for mission combat, so you'll know what Guilty Spark is telling you while you're waiting by the door in library, so that will make it very helpful. And as well as a much more extensive support than we have in the past, so yes, we've been working on that for Halo Anniversary.
As far as the sort of streaming content through Waypoint and other places, some of it's a technical limitation with the way the files are encoded. Netflix has just gotten over that, and they've started to add subtitles to their stuff. And that's, yeah, I know, it's very slim because they have to go back and re-encode everything. The honest answer is we're in the same position, and it's something that we absolutely plan to do and want to do. It's just going to take a long time to solve the technical and production issues because all that stuff, and there's budget too because we have to localize it whenever we do subtitles and stuff. But it's something we want to do, and it's something we're working very hard on.
Well, you know what a big fan he is.
Yep.
And I want to say thank you to whoever Allison and Halo Waypoint for doing the captioning for all this stuff for the panel.
We sent him captions so he could
So,
watch along.
Thank you.
First of all, to everyone, thanks for continuing the story of Halo, because it's way much better in terms of gameplay and storyline and all that. Way much better than Call of Duty. Sorry. Shots fired. Or I call it Cock of Duty.
Oh, keep it clean. Keep it clean.
We can all be friends.
Moving on.
So, are you guys going to be bringing back some of the old voice actors, of course, like Steve Downs and the chick who played as Cortana? Are you going to be bringing back others like Keith David for the new trilogy?
If I told you Keith David in particular, that would be giving away characters. So I can tell you we're auditioning right now, and we're still in touch with a lot of the old actors, but I can't say too much about that process, A, because it's still going on, and B, because some of it would be spoilers. So I had lunch with one of the old actors last week, for example. So.
If you were listening earlier, the trailer for the Terminals, that was Tim Dadaba, who got to come back in and do Guilty Spark.
Yeah.
And it was kind of awesome because the reverb in the room, it's like he was right there. But also hearing him on the recording sessions on that, hearing Guilty Spark say some very off-script things was quite a bit of fun. So he's a good guy, and he was really excited to come back as well. And there will be some other familiar voices in those Terminals as well that might make you happy. So stay tuned.
Earlier.
I have a little note here that says, please be aware members of your audience are under 18 years of age. I thought it was just for me, but apparently it's on all of these.
Yeah.
I have a question from Das Kalk from our forums who wants to know from Karen and Greg. When you guys are writing in established universes, how do you adapt your style to fit within that universe?
Well, basically,
Or do you?
Well, no, we don't, because the whole point of having me or Greg doing it is to basically have us as the storytellers, and we basically do what we've always done, which is give readers the best possible story in our own individual way. I think that's.
Yeah, they want our voice, but also, as we write individual stories of our own, we take a different voice to fit those stories. Certainly I do. It's very tough for a lot of people to decide, what my voice is, because I've adapted it for the universe and the characters that I'm working on, and that's what we do in the Halo thing. There's a kind of a classic science fiction voice where you're trying to give your characters insights into a larger world that the audience knows nothing about, and yet they're not omnipotent characters. That's a very difficult thing to do. But these different voices come out of our training in science fiction.
Yeah, and with Greg in particular, to the earlier question about other authors that have inspired us, we hired Greg so that he couldn't sue us for some of the stuff we'd stolen from him 10 years ago. So, but
which I borrowed from Arthur Heinlein, and so yeah, there's a lot of this back and forth. But science fiction is a continuing dialogue between creative individuals. In the community of writers, we always look askance at each other and say, "Hey, did you rip me off?" And I go, "No, I ripped him off. But he came before me. So did you rip him off?" No, because before him was Jack Williamson, who was our precursor. And, we really do have these discussions, but it really is a continuing dialogue of taking the ideas forward, taking the ideas that are already there and making them better. And that's the challenge. It's not that you're taking stuff away, it's that you're adding to.
Yeah, and I saw an interesting post on HBO last week where someone had pointed out that, if you just replaced all the names in Greg's book with non-Halo terms, would it read like big sci-fi? And the answer is a resounding yes. And the same is true of Karen's. If you changed ODST to whatever, CDST, it would feel like an amazing standalone piece of fiction. So that's why we hire these guys in the first place. So no, they shouldn't and don't adapt their style other than to collaborate with us.
In fact, we're going to do that. We're going to reissue all these novels with different names.
CDST.
And try and see if the second chance.
Okay, I just wanted to know, would the Warthog passenger be first person or third person? Like, in Halo 1, they had first person, and then everyone else was third.
All of the gameplay in Halo 1 will be as close to Halo 1 as you can probably remember, right down to grenade jumps and stuff like that. There'll be slight differences. The weirdest thing is that the biggest difference for that kind of tricking and stuff is going to be 16:9 aspect ratio, because the game never existed at that. So some unforeseen circumstances will come out of that. But other than that, it should be mostly identical. So
That is Halo 1.
Yep.
All right, go.
Well, I'd like to say hi to everybody.
Hello.
And I know you guys can't talk too much about Halo 4, but from a gameplay perspective, my opinion of Reach, I feel armor abilities, I won't like them in Halo 4, but I'm just wondering which engine do you recommend for Halo 4 or can discuss about?
Halo 4 is going to have its own gameplay stuff, and some of it you will love, and I'm sure there will be whatever the equivalent of armor lock is in Halo 4 that gets people excitable one way or the other. But it's the funny thing about armor lock is I use that as an example because that's one of the things I don't like in Halo 4, in Halo Reach, and there's things I don't like in Halo 3, and there's things I don't like in all sorts of games. But overall, I really love the Reach suite. I just pick my playlists based on that. We have a title update coming out. I'm going to pass over to Danny Youb to talk a little bit about that at a very high level, and there's some of the things, or some of the general concepts that will allow us to change in matchmaking so that you can have a more classic experience.
He said a very high level.
Yeah, noted. Yeah, I like to say all the time that this franchise belongs to the fans, right? It belongs to people like you who are telling us what they want. And, we've started, if you've been following the forums, we've started to talk about some things that may be changing in a little while. And you are, in Anniversary, you're going to have the ability to alter some things that maybe you didn't like from previous games. And around a title update at Halo Fest in Seattle at the end of August, we're going to actually let fans get their hands on some of the changes we're doing that kind of deal with issues like the ones you're talking about. So, I really encourage everybody to try these out when they go out, because again, right, we want to be very responsive to what the community wants, and the more feedback, just like you're doing now, that you guys give us, the more we can make sure your game plays the way you want it to.
Yeah, and just to super clarify, if you love Reach exactly the way it is, you'll still be able to continue playing Reach exactly the way it is, and if you like the new things that we add in TU, you'll be able to play some of those whether you're playing Anniversary or the original Halo Reach, and it'll all be handled through matchmaking, so you'll just pick the list that you like.
Come on up.
Hi, first of all, I'd like to say, as a 10-year Halo fan, I've been playing it since 2001.
We love you.
I'm glad to spend my 18th birthday here today. I've been playing it since I was 7 years old. So anyway, out of all the characters that you guys developed, what was the character that you mostly resonated with? Which character?
Frank's clearly Cortana.
Yeah. I'm sure I'm alone.